Hey, welcome to another episode of My Tour Tales. I'm Eric Stone. Today's episode is going to be all about RV maintenance and tips, and then we're going to head to Weiser, Idaho, at least head that way, and see if we can find anything cooler along the way. I'm playing at the Weiser Music Festival on Saturday, so stay tuned and I'll see you inside. So we had some wind that kind of pulled back our awning, as you can see here, and I planned on re-riveting it and caulking it and fixing the tear right here, all that stuff. But it hasn't stopped raining except for one day, and that was Kenny's birthday, so I couldn't really get anything done that day. But I'm gonna put a screw in there and temporarily fix it so we can hit the road anyway. Put 2 stainless screws in. I spun the second one out a little bit, but that's okay for now. It's temporary. I guess they don't make stainless as hard as they used to, but that should get us on the road anyway safely. Cool. And I'm gonna check the water level in the house batteries. I did that the other day, but might as well check it one more time and see how it is. I checked them all and they're pretty full. I'm just going to top off a little bit here. There we go. So I'm going to check the oil level and the hydraulic fluid level and all the belts and everything. It's always fun when you're trying to do this and you're on the edge of a cliff. So somehow I got to try to stand down here and not fall. Should be interesting. We'll see. Always check the fluid in the radiator because you just never know when it can overheat. It's not easy to get off this puppy. There we go. Okay, that's looking full. The overflow is a little low. See, it says minimum cold and it's not right there, so I'll add a little bit to bring it up to there. The belts look good, look real good. Rusted from all the rain on the, you see how the rust starts to develop in just a few days. That's crazy. Now I'm gonna check the oil over there. I'm gonna check the oil. Diesels love their oil like sailors love their rum, says Captain Ron. And you can see it's pretty good. It's dirty, but it's full. I already liked it once and stuck it back in, so. It's time for a change soon. We'll be doing that probably in McCall. Check the hydraulic fluid. Had a little bit of a leak, but you know, it's hydraulics, it's what happens. And it looks like it could use some, so I'll add some hydraulic fluid. I use this AW32 hydraulic fluid in your hydraulic system. Hydraulics are everywhere in this rig. They turn the fan, they move the feet up and down so you can be stable, the stabilizers. I mean, they do a lot of things, so it's constantly going through, and leaks are inevitable with hydraulic system. So I carefully pour a little bit in. I got enough room here, I don't even need, count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that should be good. Okay, we're gonna check it one more time. You can see it's right at the full level. Maybe a tad over, but a little bit over is fine. So you don't want to go crazy over it. It's at the top of the thing, you have to drain some out. So we should be good. I'm gonna top off the overflow tank. I use the Final Charge, which is really good stuff. I prefer the one that's made by Cummins, but I have to order that online, and I never know where I'm gonna be to ship it, so. All right, I brought the level up from minimum to just a little bit above minimum because I know we're going up a steep, steep mountain, and it's so hot there and so steep. That's where I overheated last year, and I cracked this bad boy, and I had to buy another one. So we're going to be prepared this time, and we're going to go really slow. This is my favorite part of the job, not rinsing out the black water and gray water tanks. Here's the drain, and the water's going in, as you see. And I usually fill it up about 3/4. Rinse it once, then do it again. Do the same thing with the gray. Boring and kind of smelly, but it makes the boondocking much more pleasant. Okay, so this part is just for Tom Melendez because we all know what he's full of. Bam, gotcha. There's Tom. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Gotcha. And once the water runs clear like that, then you know you clean both the tanks really, really good. That is the black water tank. It was kind of brownish, now it's completely clear. And I'll do the gray water tank next, and once they both run clear, I'm good to go. Here's a little tip for you full-time RVers. Always put your inline filter as closest to the RV as you can, not on the other end by the faucet. I see all these people all the time by the spigot, I mean, putting their filter, I got extra filter, but putting their filter on this end. Then you got to filter all that hose water. Put it as close to the RV as you can, and that's the smartest way to go. Another tip, also for your hose that you clean the holding tanks with, try to get a flexible hose. These are one of those kind that collapse. Don't get a cheap one. This is called a 0G. It's really good. It's lasted us almost 2 seasons. They collapse down to almost no size, and you don't use that for drinking water. You got to use a drinking water safe hose, which unfortunately they don't make them as far as I know yet in the collapsible versions, but always get a collapsible one if you can for cleaning your tanks. Try 0G if you get a chance. I'll put a link in the description below. I also use the same hose to clean my windshield. You see they get this buildup from the roof, and I bought this expandable brush, cleaning brush on Amazon. I'll put a link to that too. You just turn it on now, water comes out, freaking easy as can be. And you just clean the windshield just like that. Doesn't take any time at all. So fill my freshwater holding tank. You got to close it, actually open it to fill it, and close it for pressure. I swapped hoses on the spigot. I'm going to go ahead and fill it up until it runs out a little bit. Always remember to close it up when you're done, because you won't have any water pressure with your pump. I can't tell you how many times I forgot to do that. Another tip, always lock your bins, especially the kind that come out like this. Always lock them, because we had a little kid in an RV park unlatch all of our locks just ever so slightly. When we started going down the road, they all flew up, and it was a prank, and I know he thinks it's funny, but we didn't lose anything, luckily. So anytime I'm moving, I lock these bad boys. Locked. One of the last things we do is bring in the sliders. You obviously can't drive down the road with the sliders up, so Kim always makes sure everything's clear, and she takes care of that for me. And that makes it easier for me to close that last bin, so I don't have to duck under it. That's smart thinking, working smart. The thing I do is I put 1 ounce of the Ecology Company's crystals in the holding tank, and since we started doing that, this is like our 3rd round, we have not had any odors whatsoever. I'll put a link to it if you want to get some more information about it in the description, but this stuff is amazing. It's 1 ounce, and you flush it down. Simple as that. Just spray it, get it all down there. Then odors disappear. It's crazy how it works. Hey y'all, I finally got a video of this guy out of his hiding place. You can see these little tentacle looking things there. Those are his eyes. He's some sort of snail. And he's moved quite a bit. He moved from over there and left me a little present. Thank you so much, buddy. And we're out of here today, so that's somebody else's present. I found the little guy's brother. Man, is he a speed demon. That reminds me of a joke. What did the snail say when he rode on the back of the turtle? Whee! People ask me all the time where I live, and I tell them, oh, in a van down by the river. That's what I'm usually talking about right there. This is the area last year where we overheated. It's Deschutes Summit. This time I didn't even get above 200 degrees. It's a beautiful place. This is the summit right here. You can't imagine how gorgeous this is, but it's like this as far as you can see. All you hear is wind blowing through the trees. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's a fire here, several fires over the years. Here's Mount Washington in the background. Chief and Kim.
Say hi.
So it's hard to believe based on this picture, Mount Washington is 6.9 miles away. So that's 6.9 miles away. It doesn't look that far. It looks like I could just walk in an hour. Probably should do that. So here's a little information about animals surviving in the forest. All that, after all the fires and everything. Ooh, a squirrel. Well, we're cozied up for the night in a little town called Brothers, Oregon. Nothing more than a little rest area. A motorhome mixed in with a bunch of... Hey y'all, that's it for another episode of My Tour Tales. We had a great little drive over Deschutes Pass, no overheating issues whatsoever. And now we're going to settle down and give the birds a little food and have ourselves some pork tenderloin that Kim has been cooking in the crock pot. So, until next time, we'll see you. For My Tour Tales, I'm Eric Stone.